Hello, this is Catherine Marie, and you are listening to episode 23 of Long COVID Real Talk. So, the latest thing that I have realized is that I think boundaries are a huge part of the psychological aspect of having long COVID. And here's why. I think that many of us at least, I will speak for myself here, have had difficulty with people pleasing in the past. And because of that, we may not have been resting the way we should have been when we were recovering from long COVID, from COVID and now long COVID. And this is becoming very detrimental to me because I realize that it doesn't matter what people think of you as far as people pleasing if you have post-exertional malaise all the time. So, for example, I have family members that are coming to visit from back east, and actually a couple groups in the next few weeks, and I'm pretty excited to see everybody. The thing that I am worried about is that I'm only good for a few minutes. There's a reason why these episodes are 10 minutes long. Because after a while, my brain just kind of goes, and just doesn't really work very much anymore. And for some reason, it's a lot easier to speak into my phone while I'm lying in bed and while I'm alone and everything's quiet. That is a lot different than sitting up somewhere and having to decode communication coming at me and then encoding and communicating information back. It's exhausting. If you have long COVID, you know this already, but I feel the need to highlight it yet again, that it's exhausting to interact with other people or do very simple things. For example, I'm getting a little off topic here, but yesterday I was trying to put away groceries, one of the most normal, low energy, boring things that you could possibly think of to do in the home. And I couldn't really do it. I started to sweat. I took my temperature. It was 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And I was just thinking, okay, well, I guess I need to take a break here. My body is telling me I need to take a break. And it's kind of weird because I wasn't doing anything that I would even consider exertion. I wasn't even walking. I was just moving to put things into cupboards or the refrigerator. But apparently that was enough to set my body off, and I had to go and take a nap. But then other times, I am able to get my kid ready for the day or something, and yes, I do have to take a nap after I get home from dropping her off, but at least I'm able to do it from beginning to end, and I don't have to take a break and take a nap or something. So, okay, that was a sidetrack, but getting back to the boundaries issue, one of the things that I decided to do for the trips is to explain ahead of time to the family members that I may not be able to participate in everything that they do because I have to take multiple naps every day, and I very quickly fatigue just from minimal exertion. And I don't expect them to understand. I've also realized that some types of people are really interested in learning about long COVID and what your experience is. And some people are not, they're not able or willing. It's hard to say which one it is sometimes, but they don't really get it, and they're not going to get it. So there's really no point in trying to explain why you have to take multiple naps every day. I think the biggest thing is to try to just make the point that I fatigue quickly and have to take multiple naps a day. But really, I have to let go of the idea as to whether or not I'm actually understood, or if they're gonna be kind of mad at me, or what's the word, miffed or offended or something, if I'm not able to do everything that they want to do when they want to do it. So I think that it's also probably a good idea to keep the visits a little on the shorter side, which is not the case for one of the visits coming up. But I think that my hope is that because I'm giving this information out ahead of time and trying to set expectations, that I'm not going to feel the shame and the guilt when I try to set boundaries. And I know that the topic of boundaries, it can mean a lot of different things. And I know for myself, they're really, really hard to set because you don't want to be mean to people or make them feel bad or do anything that would cause someone else distress. But if we don't set boundaries and we don't protect our energy, and if we are not really, really mindful of what our bodies need as opposed to what our minds wish our bodies needed, i.e. far less than what they actually need, then I think that we need to be accepting and mindful of our current reality. And that is one mantra that when I went to get the extra mental health help, that came to me, that I think about a lot, and that is just that I can be present in my current reality. That it's real, it's happening, no matter how much I don't want it to be true, it's true. It's not going to be forever, but it's right now, and I need to process how to live my life with what I have right now going on. So I could do so many episodes on boundaries. I think it's one of my favorite topics other than grief. I know you must think I'm such a weirdo, but I love the topic of boundaries because I find them to be so challenging. I've felt that way my whole life, and I hate hurting people's feelings, but otherwise you end up walked all over upon. And most of the time I would say the person who's doing it doesn't even mean to. It's just that they don't know what you really need. We were talking about communication yesterday. I went to a group therapy thing yesterday, and it was, we were talking about communication styles, and one of the communication styles is passive, which is how I tend to be, especially around family members, extended family members. The second is passive aggressive. The third is aggressive, and the fourth is assertive. And I was looking through how I tend to communicate, and even though I'm able to make a podcast clearly telling you what we should do, does not mean that I'm very good at doing it. So I tend to be actually pretty passive because I get kind of quiet around certain family members, and I also value and respect them, and I don't want to hurt their feelings. So I'm afraid to say what I need or what I think, and that has been to my detriment. So I've been trying to think about how to change my communication from being more passive, where I'm basically not communicating my needs clearly, to being more assertive and confidently, just very matter-of-factly, not highly emotionally, but just matter-of-factly explaining what I need. And this is a very new concept for me. It's been something I've been working on for years, and yet I feel like every time I think about it or talk about it or learn more about it, there's another layer of the onion that's peeled back that I just like, oh, wow, look at this, you know? One of the best authors so far that I've come across is, let me find the book. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Where did you go, book? Okay, I don't know. Here it is. I found it. Okay, it's called Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself. The author is Nedra Glover Tawwab, Tawwab. She is a therapist in the United States, and she is on Instagram and I believe Twitter. And my therapist recommended her, and it is very, very good. Her writing is very good, and for you and for me, I tend to like books on audiobooks, or books on audio, books on tape, however you say that, because it's hard to read and process. Sometimes it's easier just to listen more passively to words being said instead of reading them. But there are some times where I'm not too tired to read a book, and a lot of times what I'll do is just kind of skim the book and look through and see what the chapters are called, and then the particular area that I'm struggling to bring my attention to that chapter, and then I'll read it. So I can read some parts of that book. There's also a book that is her second book that I just lent to a friend, but I will probably get it back in the next couple of weeks, called Drama Free. And it was in that book that it occurred to me that if someone is stomping all over my boundaries and I'm not saying anything because I'm trying to be nice, then that's not going to help anybody, and it's not good to do. I really recommend the boundaries stuff. And she also has a Set Boundaries workbook that I also really like. So I think we probably could do a lot on boundaries. I think I might do another few episodes on them because they're just so cool, and it's so empowering, because people that I may have felt victimized by because they seem selfish and just want what they want. If I'm not being very assertive and clear about my own needs, that's on me, So I think this is one time where the stakes are much higher than usual because we have such a physical manifestation, at least me, of my issues with boundaries, because I'm then more likely to get flare-ups and do too much, and because I'm trying to meet the needs of other people and not really thinking of my own needs, or sometimes not even knowing what they are. So that takes even more work if you grew up not having a place for your own needs to be present, and then you're an adult and you still don't really know what your needs are. And you just kind of go with the flow. And well, when you have long COVID, that doesn't really work anymore. So if you're up for learning a little more about boundaries, I definitely am. And I think I'll do a few more episodes on boundaries because there's so much really great stuff out there on it. But my brain is starting to not work very well, so I'm going to say adieu for now. And thank you, everybody, for listening. It's so great to feel like I can do something that's positive in the world while feeling like such complete crap. And it helps that my experience and my brain and everything can still be used even when I feel really sick. So you have given me that sense of empowerment, and I really, really am grateful for that. So that is all for now. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again real soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Hello again. If you liked this episode, please share it with someone you know who has long COVID, or a group that you know that you're in, a support group for people with long COVID. Please consider writing a review and or subscribing on whatever platform you're listening to this. And there, like I said, there's a Facebook group. If you search Long COVID Real Talk with Catherine Marie, you should be able to find it. But I also put the link in the description of each episode. I think that is it for now, but please reach out, please share, please send feedback. I love to hear from you. Every single person that has reached out to me has made my day, and this is a gift for me, and I appreciate everyone who has listened because you've been helping to empower me and get me through my own recovery. So thank you. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.